Wow, what a great day.
Morning.
Morning. There's 3 basic things you should worry about. First one is you got to make sure your legs and your core are really strong because that's what's going to be carrying you through your whole trip. Arms and upper body aren't as important, although your shoulders should be strong to hold your backpack. What you're going to want to think about is your cardio. Since you're going to be walking about 10 kilometers a day, your body should have enough endurance to do that. Great ways to do this is either walking around the block a couple times with your full backpack on, going on runs, or doing short hikes twice a week. The hikes are the best way because that's actually mimicking what you're going to be doing. So if you don't prepare well enough, you're going to have a hard time halfway through the hike, and you don't want that. Basic gear. First is your boots. They got to be sturdy, comfortable, and waterproof because no one likes cold and wet feet. You also got to have some decently thick socks. You can layer them if you want, but it's not necessary. If you're going on a day hike, you're going to want a smaller backpack just to carry the essentials. And make sure each hiker has their own backpack because if you take a wrong turn, you're going to want your own stuff. For longer hikes, 1 to 3 weeks, you're going to want a bigger backpack because you're carrying everything you need. Tent, sleeping bag, food, your clothes, everything. Trip is outdoor skills. You're going on a day-long hike or a week-long hike, you're going to want to bring a water container. Something like this is not ideal because it'll break and it's heavy. Something like this, that's metal, is lightweight and it's really durable. Or even better, if you have a CamelBak, it holds way more water and you carry it on your back. Run out of water. Well, you're going to want to find some sort of running stream to get it from. You don't want to get your water from a still pond or lake. Once you get your water, you can either filter it through a charcoal filter, use chemical tablets to purify it, or once you get back to a fire, boil it.
Roar!
What you want to do is run away from a bear. If you have a hill to run down, do that. Otherwise, back away slowly, don't look them in the eyes, and don't seem aggressive. If you have bear spray or bear bangers, use those as a last resort. If none of this works, you're screwed.
Roar! Arr! Arr!
To avoid a bear encounter altogether, make sure you make lots of noise on the trail.
Noise!
What a nice day it is.
Oh, yeah.
Knowing how to identify different animal droppings may be very beneficial in letting you know who may be around you. Just want to hike in a group. Oh, it's getting kind of late. I should probably find somewhere to stay for the night. Whoa! What's that? Wow! How lucky am I? But if you aren't lucky enough to find an already made shelter for you, you're going to have to build your own. In the summertime, a tent or a tarp is great. Tarps are lighter, so if you're comfortable with that, that's a great idea. In the winter, again, a tent is just fine, but if you're comfortable building a quincy, that's even better. That's no weight on your back. When you're wanting to start a fire, one of the most important things to do is to collect lots of small dry kindling, such as twigs or sticks. You're not going to want to rip branches right off the trees because 1, that hurts the tree, and 2, it'll be too green to catch fire. The most important thing you'll need is some sort of material that lights easy just to get your kindling going. If you live in Canada, you may be lucky enough to find old Timmy's cups or empty beer cases, but if not, you're going to have to go looking yourself. Oh, up here. Wait, where was it? Okay, just now see, if we could find some old man's beard, that would be ideal. Old man's beard! See, now this stuff's ideal. If you can find dry enough leaves, that's a good option. As a last resort, if you have birch trees around, you can use the bark because it lights really nicely. If you have other options though, use those first because as you can see, peeling off the bark too much hurts the tree. Now that we've collected all our materials, we're ready to start building the fire. So when you're going to build your fire, you're going to want to start out with your old man's beard, your cardboard, your leaves, or your birch bark. Basically just pile it up underneath. Crumple it up. Make a nice foundation. Next, you put on your small twigs and your kindling. Break it up nice. And just put that on top. Now hopefully you've brought in some sort of flame with you, either a lighter, matches, or flint, because that's what you're going to need. And light her up. What food to bring? Always think lightweight. Gorp is always a good idea. Good old raisins and peanuts, or freeze-dried food, such as this ice cream. But always remember, you're packing out what you pack in. Never leave a trace. Before you even think about going on a hiking trip, you gotta make sure you're mentally prepared. Anything can happen between getting stung by a bee and encountering a bear, and everything in between. You can get hurt, you can get lost, you can get dirty. Know where you're gonna be going, and for safety reasons, always let others know where that is and when you're expected to return. Shoot, must have taken a wrong turn somewhere. Guess I should backtrack. Oh, there it is. When planning an adventure, consider specifics such as the time of year you're going, the weather forecast, how long you'll be going for, the terrain you'll be hiking on, who you'll be hiking with, the physical capabilities of the group, and specific skills each member can offer. Knowing these details are essential when deciding what you and your hiking mates need to pack. Also, knowing the types of people you'll be traveling with and details of where you'll be going are all key to having an enjoyable experience. Remember, when going out into the wild, anything can happen, which is why it's always best to be as prepared as possible, both mentally and physically. Always go into a hiking adventure with an open mind and in good physical health. Never let the small things get your spirits down. There's almost always a solution for every problem that you may encounter, whether that be in the bush or in everyday life. And knowing how to go about a problem is very important. Just look at the problem, keep a positive mindset while thinking of possible solutions, and then try them out. A calm mind will always think of a more reasonable solution than a flustered one. Sometimes, though, you'll find yourself in a situation where there isn't much time to think at all, such as when encountering a bear, which is an example of when to be prepared and know exactly what your next move is. As much fun as it is to just go out in the woods and enjoy nature, being out there for a period of time can really teach a person a thing or two about survival and how to be a problem solver. You never know when you'll end up in a situation where you may not be as prepared as you'd like to be, but if the habit of always having a positive mindset is there, then anything will seem possible. This is the main reason why I believe hiking adventures are amazing experiences to learn from. They provide character building skills as well as physical and emotional well-being, which are all key components to a healthy and happy life.